Hi everyone, hope you're having a great day. I'm here amongst the pea shoots and they're ready for harvest. Aren't they glorious? They're so beautiful. 14 days from seed to harvest, and probably it could have been a lot less because I let them get this long. Now the reason why I let them get this long I'll explain, and I definitely let them get a little longer just to show you two different methods of harvesting pea shoots. So I'm going to show you what to do, how to harvest them at this stage, and I'm going to show you what to do if you'd like to have a continuous harvest, or if you'd like to plant them once, trim them, cut them, harvest them, and then be done with it and start over again. So let me show you two ways. So I've let them get this long. Now this is quite the height, okay? These are really, really long. So if you were to grow pea shoots in the garden, and you definitely can, and I do as well, especially in the early spring or even towards the end of the season, if you want to plant them towards the end of summer, they wouldn't be able to produce pods because it would be too late in the year for them to do that. However, they would definitely be able to produce pea shoots. Now we're into winter here, so I'm indoor gardening now, and so I planted a small tray like this of pea shoots, and so I'm ready to harvest them. Now this was a bit of an experiment because I do want to see if I can have a continuous harvest of pea shoots, and I know I can because when I do that in the garden it's definitely possible, but I want to see if I can do this indoors. So I'm showing you this tray here that's gone a bit too tall because it is at this stage you can harvest multiple times, but then again you can harvest a lot sooner. So let me show you if you were to harvest a lot sooner. So this is a good example. So you can see here there's lots of really tall ones here, right? So these I'm going to harvest, the really super tall ones right on this end here. These will be harvested continuous times, and just as an experiment. Now these here on this side, they're a lot shorter. So as you can see, these peas here. Now this is the perfect height to be harvesting pea shoots once. So if you let them only get to about this height, so this height has a cotyledon leaf down here, and then it has the first true leaf, and now it's starting the second leaf. This is the perfect time to harvest pea shoots early, okay? Or once. You trim them, you cut them, and they're done. You harvested them. And then once they're all done, you can either compost the rest of it, or you can give it to your chickens and they'd love to pick through it. Now, so I'm just showing you this. So this is the shorter ones here on this side, and these are ready for harvest, so you would cut them here. Now the tall ones on this side here, I'm gonna turn the camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so the tall ones here have gotten quite tall. Now had I been growing these in the greenhouse, what I would do is I would let them get quite tall to about this height here. Just gonna adjust that a little higher for you. There we go. So in this height, this one here, sorry, it's kind of hard to show you here. Okay, the base leaf here is down here, okay? Right there. And then it has this first true leaf, and it has a second true leaf, now starting a third true leaf. So what you could do at home, if you have this growing in the garden, or if you want to have this growing indoors and you want to have multiple harvests, what you would do to have a continuous harvest is you would harvest it down here. So this is the length of the pea shoot, okay? Let me do that again. It's kind of hard to see amongst this sea of peas, I feel. Okay, so typically what you do if you were to harvest pea shoots, you grow a tray. You come to this end here, so this is the short side, right? Let's see if I can, there we go. You come down here, take your scissors. You don't want to get the soil, so you would cut leaving about 1 inch, and you'd have a harvest of pea shoots, okay? Now these pea shoots are delicious eaten raw. They're also really good if you wanted to add just a gentle stir fry, or let's say you're to make a soup and you want to add a little bit of pea shoots to soup. They would be excellent. So you could just basically just throw it at the last second like you would spinach, and these would be fantastic. Now I'm going to taste one for you to see the difference between harvesting them at this stage as well after I harvest the tall ones, okay? So I'm going to try it. I'll do the smaller one first. Beautiful, earthy pea flavor. Not as strong as if you were to eat peas, but definitely it has that taste of pea. Really nice and mild, but really earthy, grassy type, delicious pea flavor. So the top of the pea shoot is more tender, all this would be tender, wouldn't have a string. The longer that it gets, the taller that it gets, it produces a tougher string because the plant needs to have some strength in order to grow vertically, right? So it starts producing a tougher stem. So the tops are always going to be the most tender. Now, if you harvest them young, the entire stem that you harvest will not have that string on the inside, and so they will be tender, so you could eat them raw. Delicious. And I've often had them in Asian food as well, where they're mildly sauteed, olive oil or an oil and some soy sauce, possibly some hoisin sauce, or in a stir fry with some like black mushrooms. Absolutely delicious. Also on a soup, you can make a green pea soup. You can get dry green peas, and then once you've pureed it, top it with these. You know, cut them in half. Maybe have like 2 pieces, like chop up a few into these like 2-inch pieces and top your green pea soup. I think it'd be delicious. Anyway, really beautiful. Beautiful pop of vitamin C chlorophyll. In the middle of winter, nothing's growing outside. So easy. I would say about 10, 12 days until harvest, and they're ready from seed to harvest, okay? So these are the mild ones, absolutely delicious. I just have to eat them. Don't mind me. Okay. So this is harvesting them young. So I said, you cut it right there, right? They're short, again, like this. You can pick them off, but I find it easier with scissors. And that's the height that you would want to pick it at. About 3 inches, perfect height, okay? Now, and if you buy them in the store, many health food stores sell baggies in the winter of peas shoots. They're basically the same thing. They're harvested once, cut just above the soil line about 1 to 2 inches, depending on how it's growing, because you don't want to get any of the soil in your pea shoots, and then you can easily just rinse them, and then they're ready to go, right? You don't need to really do much with them. As long as you harvest above the soil, you don't want to get any of that soil in. Now, let's say I want to grow this continuously. I want to have a couple trays, let's say. It's really easy to grow peas. You can buy them in larger quantities if you're growing them from microgreens and shoots. So let's say you want to grow 1 tray or 2, whatever, of just pea shoots you harvest once and they're young and tender. But let's say you want to have an experiment. You want to have some fun, and you want to grow a tray of pea shoots to harvest when they're older, so that way you have a continuous supply. So you're going to pick, let's say they're all this height. Now this is really high. Here's a really good example. I'm not sure if you could see it. So here's a really tall one right here, okay? This is really tall. This one is about maybe 6 inches tall, maybe 7 even. It's really quite tall. So to harvest this tall one, and I'm telling you, it's hard to see this because it's in a sea of them. You would pinch it off right here. You'd cut off. You can either pinch by hand, or you'd pinch with scissors. And again, it's the same thing. It's the same length as the one you would have harvested had you harvested at the soil line or just above the soil line. It would have been the same, 3 inches long. This is exactly the same thing. And this, again, no string, tender. So the most tender part is at the top, okay? Before it gets really mature. Now that I have trimmed that piece, and let me see if I can get you a little bit closer. Now that I have trimmed this piece, okay, this will now continue to grow and produce more stems. As well, at the base of that pea shoot, it will grow more. So if this was growing in your vegetable garden, you would harvest this, you snip the top, then the bottom would start to split and branch out, and it would become more of a bushier plant, and you would keep trimming the tips. So the point of this tall ones is trimming tips. The point of proper microgreen growth is to trim at the soil line just above this height, okay? And these are ready. Now to store your pea shoots, you would store them in a container in the fridge. I suggest like a plastic container with a lid or a glass container with a lid, and just lay them down. Don't squeeze them into a bag. Alternatively, if you do want to use a plastic zipper bag, put them into the bag. Try to like stack them if you can, so that they're not all jumbled like this, because you don't want to damage them. They're very, very easy to damage, and once they do, they start to wilt. So as you can see, this one here, as I took it off, it came off poorly. Okay, so this one, you don't want to do this, and it's very easy to do this. So when you store it, make sure that you store them like together in a bunch, either laying down or you have them like this and you carefully insert them into the bag so they don't get damaged, because you don't want them to get too damaged, or like if they will wilt quickly. And that's it. So this is how you harvest pea shoots. I will post another video of how to plant the pea shoots. Also very, very easy, but there's 2 methods and I'm going to discuss them in the next video that I shoot, okay? Anyway, that's it for now. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, be sure to leave me a comment below and I'll be happy to answer it. Also, if you like my video, please be sure to click the like button, and as well click the subscribe button below and the notification bell to be notified of any upcoming videos. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all having a super great day. I really hope that this video has inspired you to grow some pea shoots of your own and to show you how really easy it is, and it's really flexible. There's no real proper rule for things. You can be as flexible as you want, and trying always helps you learn, so definitely be open to that. Anyway, I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks for watching again. Happy gardening. I'll talk to you all really soon. Bye for now.